Hello everybody and welcome to UFOs Around the World. Today's video, I'm just going to be going over a few things like Dr. Phil's video on News Nation, his interview. The government have gone through it with Dr. Phil, so maybe they are preparing to release something. There's also a presidential announcement or speech on Thursday, supposedly. It was on Truth Social. It was like a third party that posted it, so it's not been confirmed yet. And now the conspiracies, it's aliens are real or we're not alone, all that kind of speech. It's happening again. We don't learn. We don't fucking learn. We are fickle as fuck. Fickle as fuck. So let's get straight into it. This is just a quick edit that I've edited in. So at the end when I share the Trump announcement thing, Trump has actually spoken about it, and that is at the end of the video. So if you don't want to watch anything else and you want us to see the Trump announcement, head on over to that end of the video and you'll see that part. So it's the 37-second clip, which he goes into it saying it's really, really big news. So there we go. Just to warn you, there will be some stopping and starting just as I'm talking through it and stuff like that. But here it is. Let's go.
You got an early look at this, the fourth release, and you've gone through it. What is your big takeaway?
I have, Blake, and I'm glad to talk to you about it. It's good to talk to you.
Yes. What's the big takeaway?
Well, a couple of things, Blake. First, I am glad that they gave us an exclusive look at this ahead of time so we could really dig in and do a deep dive. And right off the top, I got to tell you, it just makes me furious that our government has been lying to us for 79 years about this. They've been lying by omission. I think they've been lying by misdirection. It's absolutely ridiculous that our own government thinks we're too immature, too stupid, too foolish, whatever.
So I'm just going to have to stop right there. Everything that you and myself have been saying for years, decades, that they're hiding something, they're not being honest, disinformation all over the place, called tinfoil hats. I guarantee after all this comes out, I'm suing them. I'm fucking suing them for the harassment that I had for the last 25 years, researching this topic, saying I'm a tinfoil hat daft wanker. I'm suing them. I want at least £10 million because I'm suing him, and we all should sue him. We should sue him for all the damages, all the bullying, all the mental health it's given us. The people that have killed themselves, you know, there are people that have actually killed themselves because they've gone too deep into it and they just can't handle it and stuff like that. And that is true. People have fucking killed themselves because of this topic and being bullied because they believe in certain things, stuff like that. I'm suing the fuckers.
To be told the truth about what's going on. I mean, why do these people think they know better than we do about what's going on in our own lives and our own world? Our government has been lying to us for 79 years.
Why do you say lying to us?
That's so apparent in the documents that you look at in this.
Yeah, why do you say lying to us?
Well, you look at these documents, you go back as far as 1947, where they have had clear information that there are objects not of this earth, both technologically, metallurgically, performance-wise, but yet that has been hidden from us. They've denied that. They've actually threatened people from talking about this, threatened them with careers, imprisonment, and some with death because they would consider it treason, and really put the clamps down on people talking about this. So they've lied by omission. I think they've also lied with overt misdirection. We've seen lots of people talking about UFOs and things like that, but they were always people that were too drunk to fish. So there was no credibility. They're standing there with a gimme cap on and a I'm with stupid t-shirt, just no credibility whatsoever. I don't think that's always been by accident. And they have hidden away credible people that were talking about things that would move the needle. And they've taken it very seriously. NASA has been involved, CIA, Department of Energy, the FBI, the Department of Defense, the White House, the Department of National Intelligence.
Are you not getting a bit angry just listening to it? Like, it's nothing against Dr. Phil, like, nothing against him at all. But do you not get like pissed off that this is everything that us people that have been researching for years have been saying? And now it's just being taken seriously. And it's been put out there like it's new. It's like, oh, they've been lying to us. Like, well, we were telling you when they were lying for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years. Now we're 79 years. And you're only just fucking catching up. Are you all on spice? You believe the government. You believe that they've not been covering anything up. What is fucking...
have been involved in this, so they clearly have taken it very seriously, but yet hidden this from the public.
You know, one of the releases today involves Amarillo, Texas, back in 2015, where a UAP went into a space that assembles nuclear material. And I talked to the pilots. We've had them on the show, Dr. Phil, who say, I can't make sense, and even astronauts, I can't make sense of what I've seen. But I've also talked to military folks who say, you know what, there's a lot of tech out there that we have that people don't know about. Is there a world that exists in which you think maybe the government is using some of the tech to test it out and to try it and maybe to see what we have?
Look, clearly there are things that we have in terms of our arsenal that is not being made public. But look, you can go back and look at a pattern beginning in, go back to April 47 in Richmond, Virginia, where 4 weather scientists which were using instrumentation, which was very good at the time, that observed 4 disks that were making movements and changes that we, in 1947, we certainly didn't have the technology to do that, and we don't today. It was enough to get the government's attention. A few months later, Kenneth Arnold observed, a private pilot observes 9 really high-speed objects moving.
That object in the picture, let me get rid of the captions there, looks like very similar to the image that was shared in the files, which I'll overlay in a minute.
Through space. 11 days later, there's the Roswell crash. And then there was a report in 1948 called Project Sign, which was a progress report. It says, all right, tell us everything that you know. And these were quality witnesses, research scientists, military pilots, Navy and Air Force pilots observing things that they said, we don't have the technology to do this. There were green fireballs that they thought, okay, maybe these are meteors. They brought in Dr. Lincoln LaPaz, a leading meteor expert, that said, no, these don't move horizontally with no noise and maintain a consistent speed and maneuverability. And there were 5 cities that had nuclear facilities that these things clustered over, including as late as 2015 at Pantex in Amarillo,
Yeah,
which
the one that
talked about.
Yeah, that I referenced there.
So.
Yeah, let me leave you with this, because I have Congressman Eric Burlison on the show all the time, or frequently, and he's one of the members of Congress, as you know. If he's not at the forefront of this, he's one of the handful that are leading the charge. And here's what he told me recently, basically saying that he has questions, but he's not yet willing to make the leap. Here he was.
Yes, there's some moments where I scratch my head and I kind of walk away. I don't know that I would say, holy crap, but I would say there's going to be probably some ontological questions that will come about. I've yet to see the proof, the hard proof that this is something extraterrestrial.
Do you think the Trump administration will eventually reveal if the government knows something or not?
Well, I think there are going to be continuing disclosures, and I'm saying, why hide this from the private sector? I mean, we have scientists, we have leading university researchers that can dig into this. Why keep this from the American public? A lot of problems get solved in the private sector because our tax dollars at work move like molasses in winter. Turn this loose. Let the private sector get involved in this. And look, my involvement in this is, I think people need to have this in context. We don't need to scare people. We need to be open about this and put it in a context.
So, first off, why Dr. Phil? Like, I know who he is, but is he like a prominent figure in the US? Is he someone that's a trusted source of information? Is he someone that, if he starts speaking about it, he'll start waking up the everyday, I like to call them Coronation Street watchers or whatever, I don't know, Friends watcher in the US, whatever. Is that what he's targeting? Is that his audience? If he believes and he shares that information, these other people that aren't really into the topic, they'll start taking interest in this topic. Is that the plan there? Because I just don't see why him. Otherwise, I just don't see. He must be trusted. That's the only thing I can think of there. So there has been a cover up. It's listen, there's people online that are wanting to debate people about legacy programs, saying, I want to debate you on this. Listen, we can do that. Just go and do your research and come to your own conclusions. You don't have to debate people. Go and do your own research. If you don't believe it, move on. Why are so many people that do not believe in this topic spend just as much time as people that do believe in this topic arguing against it? A lot of these people are probably disinformation people that are working in the background trying to put bullshit in there. I've noticed certain people have gone missing and quiet recently and stuff, and new people that weren't into the topic have started to come into it all of a sudden, which is again strange, like Neil deGrasse Tyson and stuff like that. It's like, well, he was against it and then sort of full circle and wrote a fucking book. So obviously the money's good, right? So they're going into it. I just think that the slow disclosure plan is what I think people forget about it. For people that don't know what the slow disclosure plan is, this is it. So take a look at this. So we've got here a list of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. And the phase 1, demonstrate existence. And we've got here at the bottom of phase 1, government acceptance, where it says objective to the right of that. You've got government acceptance. I feel we're already at that now. I feel we've hit that last year. We've got Congress, we've got hearings, we've got potential president announcements on it. They're taking it serious. So I think we've hit phase 1. And then you've got these colour codes at the top. You've got green, yellow, purple, red. And if you look, it says on target, at risk, off target. Now, January 25 was the academic acceptance, and that was at risk. I feel we're going to hit that this year. And that's why we're getting scientific conferences and stuff like that. And we're getting a lot more scientists getting involved now. And then we'll hit the academic acceptance. And I think that'll be phase 2 completed. Then it's going to be characterised performance, and that's going to be public acceptance. But there's a huge gap there. I think that's 2030. So we've got another 4 years. And that's purple. That is D, whatever it is, point. I'm guessing that's disclosure point, right? So on the bottom right hand side there, you'll see a purple. And then you'll see D question mark point. I'm guessing that's disclosure point. That's what that means. Could be wrong. I just think it is. And that would be phase 3. And then you've got phase 4, which is determine the nature, which is the Five Eyes Alliance, which maybe because the UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and who did I miss to say UK? They share intelligence, not just on UFOs, but on like things around the world anyway, like military stuff and targets and all the information on terrorism and stuff like that. And I think this is potentially something to do with why Trump's gone after NATO recently. There seems to be, and if you look at the Five Eyes Alliance, none of them are landlocked. So I think that's interesting. Maybe the Five Eyes will take over NATO, and that'll be the new major power. That's just my little guess. And then phase 5, which is indefinite, so this is going forward, the engagement, scientific discovery, strategic end state. So it's like what happens then. So from 2034 onwards, forever then, is where we are aware that there's an existence, an alien existence, interdimensional, whatever, and how we co-live with that, or if we do co-live, or it's how it affects us, doesn't it? But I feel after phase 2's accepted, I feel from phase 3 to phase 5, there's going to be a war. I feel there's going to be some huge war. Because to bring this out, it's one thing to bring the announcement that aliens are here, but then you've got to announce the technology, and I don't think we're ready for that. We can release the information that we're not alone. There's little green men, grey men, whatever you want to call them. But to get to to move forward, I think there has to be a global disaster, and I think it's potentially a war. We've probably seen the build up of that now. We're seeing tensions rising all the time. I think there's going to be a lot of loss of lives. That's just my opinion to move forward, because this world is not ready for 0-point technology, alien technology. If these crafts are doing these things that we're seeing, and it is technology that's been given to us or we've found and reverse engineered, we are not ready for this technology. And I agree with that. I would not want that on this planet yet. As much as I'd want it, I don't want it for that reason. And I think most people would be the same. There's too much shit going on the planet. Too much shit. And I think a lot of things have got to kick off first between phase 3 before we get to phase 5. Maybe the phase 3 is the kickoff, and then phase 4 is when we get the Five Eyes acceptance. Maybe that's when they bring the technology out. We're the superior thing, NATO aren't. NATO might be gone because if Europe's at war, a disaster might happen in the Europe bloc, and then you've got the Five Eyes Alliance, which aren't landlocked, which I just noticed that. I don't know if it's strategic to why they've done that. but they are at other corners of the planet as well. There is that. So the next thing I want to speak about is also, so this is what I think is going. I think they told us at the beginning what they were going to do, and I think people have forgot. And they started saying, we don't want slow disclosure, we want catastrophic disclosure. We're not getting catastrophic disclosure, and people have forgot about the slow disclosure. I think this is what they're doing. Makes perfect sense. If you look on the left-hand side of that video as well, it says NIDS, RSAP, ATIP, video releases, which they're doing. And then you've got a New York Times article, UAPTF. So everything we're seeing, it's on here. And this was shared two and a bit years ago. I genuinely think this is it. So recently, the government released these. So we've got 3 images shared here. These are during STS-80 between November the 19th and December the 7th, 1996. Astronauts aboard Space Shuttle Columbia captured a series of the 3 images of an unidentified object in low orbit. In the first photograph, the object is visible near the centre of the frame to the right of the limb of the Earth. And then we got the second one. Looks a bit like a pyramid, doesn't it? And then you've got this one. It's right in the middle. It's very faint there. You can see it. So the interesting thing is about this is that there's videos. There's famous videos of this exact mission, STS-80, from 1996, from December the 1st, right slap bang in the middle. So we might actually have video footage of this object. And there's also an interview that I want to share with you now, where one astronaut gives his opinion on what these objects were, and another astronaut gives his opinion on what the objects, and they're totally different. So take a look at this.
Could you just state your name and who you are?
I'm Tom Jones, former space shuttle astronaut and planetary scientist.
And you're here at the Udvar Hazy Air and Space Museum today for what reason?
June 14th, yes. I'm here at the Air and Space Museum signing my books, Skywalking and Planetology and Hellhawks.
And so is this a memoir? Is this a memoir? Or?
Skywalking is my memoir of my 4 trips on the space shuttle, and the last one to help build the International Space Station. So the Skywalking title comes from my 3 spacewalks up on the Atlantis at the space station. But if you really wanted the experience of what it's like to strap on a shuttle or put on a spacesuit and go for a spacewalk, that's what Skywalking is for.
So you did an extravehicular walk?
EVA, extravehicular activity, spacewalking. I call it Skywalking in the book.
So you're, when you do that, you don't have a tether or anything?
Oh yes, you do. Yeah, you don't want to drift away, and so you worry about a 50-foot long steel tether that attaches you to the shuttle or the space station.
Because I've seen photographs of, there was a EVA of some kind of, I don't know, some kind of device where they didn't have a tether.
Well, that's true. Back in the 80s, they flew an astronaut maneuvering unit. It's called the MMU, the Man Maneuvering Unit. It was a jetpack that was strapped onto the back of the suit, and they could free fly. And they did disconnect their tethers for that. Now we have on the current space suit model up on the space station, you have a small jetpack on the back of your backpack just in case your tethers break. Because the space station weighs almost 1 million pounds and it can't fly after you to come and grab you. So the little jetpack is useful, but it's only for emergencies. Whereas back in the 80s, they actually used that device to actually go and grab satellites, for example.
And which shuttle missions did you fly on?
The numbers of those missions were STS-59 and 68 and 80 and 98. 3 shuttles, twice on Endeavour, Columbia, and then Atlantis.
Now there's some controversy on STS-80 about a supposed sighting of a UFO. Could you, and I know that you wrote about it on your blog. I was wondering if you could just address that.
Sure. STS-80 Columbia, 17.5-day mission. And on every mission, you see lots of debris that is released from the shuttle's payload bay or frozen propellant from the main engines or the thrusters that drifts along with you, in some cases for several days after you arrive in orbit. And so that little cloud of particles gets captured by the low-light TV cameras on the space shuttle that are used by the ground controllers at night. And when those wind up on video, and if you don't know the context for when those pictures were taken, those little particles might seem to you like distant stars or moving objects in space. And the video I've seen from STS-80 is just that. It's this low-light TV camera capturing these ice particles in the very near field, only 10 or 20 feet away. And in the camera view, they look like they're flashing. In fact, they're just tumbling little ice flakes.
Those cameras, are they external cameras, or are they inside the space shuttle, or are they external?
Yeah, there are 4 cameras, one at each corner of the payload bay, and typically 1 or 2 of those would be those low light black and white cameras. And when the crew is asleep or working on something else, the ground controllers in Houston can point those remotely at anything they want. And they're typically just doing sightseeing, looking for thunderstorms at night and so forth. And that's why you get these views of the Earth's horizon. It's typically not the crew using those cameras, but the ground controllers.
Are the cameras, so are they, those are only being operated when the payload bay is open, or?
Yes, but the payload bay doors are open from the time you get to orbit till the time you're coming home. And these are radiators on the inside of the doors that are responsible for thermal control on the shuttle, so they stay open all the time.
Now, there's been other astronauts who have had UFO sightings. Jim McDivitt, John Glenn.
What do you have seen things that they can't explain, and therefore by definition it's a UFO. It just, but what it really is unknown. So some people think they're spaceships. I don't. But most of them, I think, under careful analysis, are explainable, like the ones on STS-80. And I don't think I've heard of anybody who has in the astronaut corps who's ever seen anything that they thought was unexplained.
Is there any
question.
Okay? Is there any sort of reporting method for astronauts if they cite something that's something anomalous, something unidentified?
It would be handled just by the usual way you report any incident in flight. So you can radio it to the ground, or after the flight, you can have in your post-flight debrief, you can talk to the flight controllers about it. So there was no special category of reporting for UFOs; it just didn't come up. Okay.
Just one quick question. How did that footage become public? The STS-80 footage.
All of the footage during a mission typically would be beamed down live from the ship during the course of the flight, and NASA would just play it on NASA TV. And then at the end of the day, there might be something called Flight Day Highlights, where they roll up about 10 minutes of highlights and broadcast those as well. So as far as I know, on STS-80, that stuff was just publicly broadcast in real time, and people picked up on some of these moving ice crystals in there and pounced on that. And it's sort of been a legend on the internet ever since. But everybody on my crew agrees that they were just ice flakes.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, astronaut Tom Jones. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks.
Statistically, it's a certainty there are hugely advanced civilizations, intelligences, life forms out there. I believe they're so advanced that they're even doing interstellar travel. I believe it's possible they came here. Nothing that I have seen personally has the signature, has those characteristics which you would attribute to other forms of intelligence or other kinds of craft. Twice I saw what I call my eel, which I don't know the size of it because I don't know how far away it was, but it was like a rubber piece of hose which had internal motions in it. Maybe it's 8 feet, maybe it's 10, I'm not sure. When you can't tell how far away, you can't get the size, so I'm missing both of those things, size and how far away. But there's no question it had internal motion.
So two different astronauts, Musgrave and Tom Jones, with two different perspectives on what they were seeing and stuff like that. And Musgrave has many more conferences and speeches where he goes into more details on things. He's very more open to things. So it's very interesting listening to him and then listening to the other guy. And there's another person as well. I can't remember his name, but those two are the ones that I've just shared with you there. But there is more if you want to just type in the astronauts for the STS missions and go and watch their interviews. It's very interesting because they've got different opinions and perspectives of what they were seeing and stuff like that. I'm now going to share the STS video from 1996 from the 1st of December, so check this out.
Columbia, reference to call out on the flight plan at 11 hours NBT. Is there a target state vector on board?
Affirmative. We have a new target vector on board.
Okay, we'll get into those steps.
So that's the STS. There's quite a few more. If you just go on YouTube, type in STS 8996, there's loads of different ones, shorter ones. I just thought I'd play the longer one of the longer ones. I'm going to show you now what has been going around on X, which is just about the presidential speech. So I'm just going to quickly show that before I go. So take a look at this. So I've actually got some breaking news, actually, because this has just come in, so I've not actually watched this yet, but it's to do with it. So it says, Justin Trump on Address to the Nation on Thursday. It's really, really big news, and our country has to shape up, because without free and fair elections, you don't have a country. We'll be discussing other things too, but it's going to be a very big announcement. So let's see what he's got to say.
Your big announcement on Thursday night regarding election machines and integrity. Can you give us sort of a sneak peek about what to expect and tell the audience?
Well, I'd rather save it. It will concern that subject, and we'll have a couple of other things to say also.
Why should people watch them?
But I'd rather save it, but it's really big news. It's really, really big news. And our country has to shape up. But that's what we're going to be talking about Thursday is it doesn't get bigger, because without free and fair elections, you don't have a country. We'll be discussing other things too, but it's going to be a very big announcement. Yeah,
it's going to be really big news. Whether it's going to be about aliens, I don't know. Trump only has to fart these days, and it's on X. Like we're breaking disclosure, like through his ass. That he probably will eventually release it. Could it be? I don't know. I hope it is. I hope he comes out and says we're not alone, and does that beautiful speech that we've all seen in Hollywood movies and stuff like that. Anyway, as always, keep your eyes to the skies, as the next story could be yours. Good night, God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.
Figure this one out. There's a double. There's a third one. Oh, what do we got? Take a look at this.
Kenneth Arnold, lights flashing, 47 saucers passing, Roswell crash, Debris field, Ramey memo half revealed, Project Sign, Project Grudge, Cold War skies, the radar buzz, Blue Book files locked away, Men in Black say no one saw a thing today.
Watch closely as a different U.S. drone drops a Hellfire missile on that fast-moving orb. The missile appearing to bounce off the object.